Hey everyone, thank you for listening to the BowhuntingAZ podcast. I'm so excited to begin my very first episode of the show with an interview at where it all started. BCC Archery Pro Shop is the beginning of my personal archery journey. Owner and operator Richie Sanderson is a dear friend of mine and has my utmost respect. I've never known a more selfless person who dedicates and invests so much of his personal time into others' success. Today, we talk about the genesis of BCC Archery Pro Shop, how Richie was introduced into archery and hunting ethics, a light foray into gear, and the breakdown of PSE and what his shop has to offer. Thank you for your time and support. I can't wait to see what's in store for BowhuntingAZ in the future. It's often said, it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. This is my obsession, my lifestyle. This is my story, how I got into archery, hunting, and conservation. What's going on, everybody? I'm Steven. I'm the owner of BowhuntingAZ, and I'm here today interviewing my good friend Richie Sanderson, and just going to talk a little bit about archery, how he got started in it. We're going to talk about his shop, BCC Archery Pro Shop, and thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. Hi, Richie. How you doing?
Hi. Good.
Good. Thanks for giving me some time today. So tell us, how originally did you get started in bow hunting? Do you remember what year it was, and how long you've been doing it overall?
I've been doing it since I was old enough to start hunting.
Okay.
I started hunting with my grandpa. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I started hunting with him with a rifle, and it seemed like the very first 4 or 5 years that I was hunting, it was, you went out, Grandpa always said, oh, there's a nice buck, shoot it, and it was all over, and after about 4 or 5 years of that, I told Grandpa, I said, I want to start archery hunting. I think that'd be more of a sport,
Sure.
So I started doing that, and I went and bought a PSE bow from...
that was your first bow?
That was my first bow, and just started shooting it in the backyard at a plate one day, and I thought, wow, I can hit that plate, I'd be able to go deer hunt, and I liked that part of it because you had to stock up on them, and I always thought my best yardage was between 20 and 30 yards, so I always just stuck to that, and I went out the first year, 28.5 yards and shot me a buck, and then I thought, wow, this is kind of fun, but it's gotten harder to hunt now than it was back then. There was more animals. It was just easier to hunt.
Oh, sure.
So,
sure.
It's harder, it's tougher, but if you want to be successful, you got to get out there and hunt, So.
Yeah. And then, so your grandfather was the one who originally got you involved in it?
Yeah, my grandfather was,
Okay. Okay. And was that here in Arizona that you started hunting?
Yeah.
Have you hunted here pretty much all your life?
All my life.
Okay.
I've been in Colorado and hunted.
Okay.
Shot a really nice buck in Colorado one year. But.
Yep. So what led you to start all this? Like, what's brought you here pretty much? What made you decide to start the pro shop?
Well.
And you do more than just the pro shop, though, too. You run an archery club, and you shoot on Sundays and have shoots and everything. So tell us a little bit, what was the genesis of that whole thing?
Well, originally, the shop, I was doing stuff in here back in the day when the older bows had the old cable systems and stuff. I used to make cables for other shops and work on them bows because I had the equipment to make them cables.
Right.
And I just kind of did it myself.
Okay.
And one year, through all this, it's been the Lord. We would do, it's a Christian organization. Our club's a Christian organization. I do everything through the Lord.
Right.
And one year we do a camping trip with our church every year, and we were at a camp, and I took my bow and I was shooting there after one of our Bible studies or whatever we were doing at that point. And that weekend, the pastor come and asked us to ask me if I would teach the kids archery through the church. And I looked at him and I said, I don't feel I'm qualified. And I said, the gentleman that's standing right over there and his wife, Ken and Cheryl Sloan at that time, I said, that man is more qualified than I. I said he owned Cactus Archeries back in the day and had a big shop. And he says, really? And I said, yeah. And I said, his wife's a 4-time world champion, 3-time state champion, qualified for the Olympics 3 different times.
Jeez.
They're more qualified than I. And through that, we got together as a group, me and him and his wife, and started our club.
Okay.
And then through that, he said, hey, let's start a shop. So I said, all right, I'll start this shop. And through the Lord, he provided me to be able to do that through Ken and Cheryl at the same time. I started this shop in 2000 with $100. And now to this date, it's worth $100,000 worth of merchandise and stuff. And all my money that I make in the shop just keeps going back into the shop.
Right.
I also have my own job. I work construction, and I'm a union carpenter by trade, so I do that 8 hours a day, and then I come home and run my shop.
Right.
And do what I can to make ends meet to keep the shop going. My plan is to retire in 3 years from the union and just try to run the shop if I can make a go of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. It's a hobby for me, so.
Sure. And you do everything here pretty much. I mean, you fletch arrows. You can see behind us. Fix bows. I mean, you can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, I do everything and anything I can. And if I can't, you know, I surround myself with a lot of good people, a lot of Christian people. So, and I'm one of these guys, you can come and ask me, if I don't know it, I'm not going to tell you I do know it. I'm going to go find out.
Right.
I also am good friends with other shops. And I mean, I don't badmouth no shop or any other shop. If I have a problem with a bow and I can't fix it, I'm not too good to run to them and say, hey, I got a problem. Can you help me?
It's a big network, network, yeah.
And that's the way it should be. Everybody should work together. I mean,
absolutely. So you said your grandfather originally introduced you to hunting. What is your best hunting memory of all time? Whether it's with him or just maybe a bull or a deer or something that you were after, and it was just a struggle. Just the number one memory.
Oh, there's so many good memories. I mean, being with my grandpa was probably the best memories.
Okay.
Probably just hunting elk in general with Ken and just everybody I've gone hunting with. You know, I think it's just fun to get out and enjoy God's creation.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to hunt, be able to have that privilege, you know. There's been so many. I mean, I've been on some big elk. That's like, I've not shot a big bull yet in my career, but I have seen and been close enough. The opportunity didn't present itself to some 400 plus bulls, you know, in my time. Yeah. But you have to hunt to do that.
Sure, sure, absolutely. For those that are new or young or both that are just breaking into the industry, what's advice that you would give them as they're just kind of starting out, whether it's just archery or just whether hunting, you know, what would be some words of advice that you would give them as they start?
Take your time.
Yeah.
My thing would be taking your time, you know, hunting, going out and exploring. It ain't going to happen. I mean, if you some people get lucky or fortunate or whatever you want to call it and shoot something nice the first time, you know. If you have somebody that's got money or you have money and you pay a guide to go out with you, I'm sure you're going to get a nice one. Right. I've never had that kind of money to pay somebody to help me. I go and do it myself, so I've got feel more of accomplishment for what I have done because I spend the time out there. I do it myself. You know, my next bull tag, I'm going to get some help.
Okay.
I've done favors for people that are guides, and I guess I'm going to ask for
Sure.
some help from them people,
Sure.
hoping they'll pay that favor back.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
I hope it works out, so I want to get one nice bull mounted on the wall. And then after that, I don't care. I mean, I've shot some bulls. I've shot a lot of cows, but that's my goal.
Yeah.
I want to get a nice bull, and I want to get a nice antelope, and then after that, I'll just go play and
Sure.
teach other people how to hunt.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not the greatest hunter. I mean, but I'm going to show you the hunting ethics and the way you should hunt.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said behind all that too, as to like you said, ethics, the general concept of like conservation and everything that we're doing, to make sure that these populations are promoted in a healthy way.
Exactly,
And,
and how to treat the animals. I mean, I've been out there hunting and watched people just push animals and do things, and I don't know. I just don't feel that that's right. That's my belief. There's a certain way to hunt. There's a certain way to walk out there. God put these animals on this earth for us to enjoy, and that's what it's about.
Right.
And I spend a lot of time doing it. I'm sure you do too. You have a lot of cameras and equipment and stuff. And I've done it in my earlier careers. I got a 35 millimeter. Go out there. I'm taking pictures of some of the biggest bulls I've seen. I've got some beautiful pictures. Then everybody says, "Why didn't you shoot him?" Well, I did. I shot him with the camera. I let him get away.
Yeah.
But you know what? Is it all about killing an animal?
No.
It's not about killing an animal. It's about enjoying what's out there too,
Yeah, there's many times where I've been out there and I've seen stuff, or moments too where, doing photography, where sometimes I'll just keep that moment for myself, and I won't even take a picture sometimes. And same concept for hunting. Like, just because you see an animal doesn't mean you instantly need to kill it or shoot it. Like, sometimes that animal's there just to see and enjoy, and it's it's a lot more than just
and a lot of
bringing
people
something home all the time.
Yeah,
but,
and
I mean, that is the general concept, but sometimes it's more just about the enjoyment and being.
And a lot of people
seeing it.
don't understand that, and they need to.
Sure.
Need to sit back and enjoy it.
Sure, and I think that's part of, back to what I was asking you for the advice for newer and younger people, is just taking it slow, taking your time. That's all stuff that'll be learned over a period of, their introduction into the industry.
Exactly, and for me, it's hoping they have parents that will take them out and show them things. I deal with a lot of kids through my archery group and through the club and through the things I do.
Yeah.
I used to be a hunter education instructor. So I deal with kids that don't have fathers that are wanting to do that. So I spend a lot of time trying to teach them and trying to help them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need to step back and enjoy my time too.
Sure.
And but I try to help. Sometimes I try too hard to help these kids. And but yeah, it's just having somebody mentor to them,
Right. And that's
I think we need to get other fellow hunters. I mean, I understand they want to hunt and get out there and hunt themselves, but sometimes you need to step back and think, I got started because of somebody else.
Right.
So somebody else needs to pass that on to whoever that might be too.
And that's been a big thing too. I've noticed with your 3D shoots that we did. I believe Mike was one of the guys that I was shooting with in my group, and the time that he took with me, my friend Mitch, and I, and even his son. We had a 5-year-old kid with us shooting bow, and nobody rushed him. Everyone said, "Take your time. Like, here's how you can improve." Everyone was really good at making sure that mentorship was there and taking place, and I think that's phenomenal.
And that's like I said earlier. I surround myself with good people that help me do that too, with our 3D shoots and our club stuff.
Right.
They're all godly men that will take that time and help, and I think that's a key to what we do, and a key to my success in my archery business, my archery club.
Yeah.
Having them key people.
Yep. So when you go hunting and you're heading out on a hunt, let's talk gear, because a lot of people love to want to know all that. So what is something, I guess, like say 5 pieces of standard equipment that you'll typically take when you're heading out? Obviously your bow, obviously some sort of backpack or something.
A good backpack.
Binos.
Good binos. Good knife.
Okay.
You know, make sure you got water.
Sure.
Make sure you got some food. You never know what can happen. You can get hurt out there, and you know, you might need some stuff. You know,
absolutely.
I have a tendency to carry too much stuff in my pack, but
I think I'm there too right now. I find all these little trinkets and everything and stuff, but I'd rather have it and, you know, like they say, have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Well, that's just it. You know, if you get out there and something happens and you can't get help right away, you need to have stuff. If you cut yourself bad enough, you need to have something to be able to, especially if you're by yourself. I don't hunt. I do hunt pretty much by myself, but anymore, I let somebody know where I'm at. I try to, pretty much anymore, I take another adult with me. Yeah. He may be hunting somewhere, but he knows where I'm at too.
Right.
So if you do get hurt, cell phones nowadays are phenomenal. Hey, I'm over here, I'm hurt. You know, you need to, you know, you just need to use that if you have that opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, a big proponent for me this year in hunting, I've noticed, has just been the app OnX Hunts. I don't know if you've used that or not.
I've got it. I haven't really searched it yet.
Okay. I mean, being able to save, you know, very detailed, you know, topographical and satellite maps offline has been a big help for me, especially when you have no cell service, and to still have that GPS accuracy.
Right.
Be able to drop pins. You can, you know, change the pin icon to, you know, tracks or wallow, water source, bull, you know, whatever you need to. It's pretty neat. That's been a huge proponent and really changed the industry, definitely.
Yeah.
What kind of broadheads do you use? Are you a mechanical guy, fixed head?
I'm a little bit of both.
Okay.
I've always shot thunderheads, fixed blades, a good broadhead. I mean, there's so many good broadheads out there. You know, each to their own. You know, a lot of people like muzzies. You know.
I use the Trocars. Yeah.
They're all good. I mean, it just depends on what you do. I mean, I like the thunderheads. I'm also I shoot grave diggers.
Okay.
I watched my daughter shoot a bear with. I've watched a lot of people. I kind of know the whole process of the grave digger, and I was involved with some of that when they first come out. But I watched somebody shoot some bulls with them. Phenomenal, bleed out, just phenomenal. I watched my daughter, and a lot of that is shot. It doesn't matter what broadhead you use; it's shot placement.
Right.
And I'm going to say, go off the wall and say, practice is the main thing.
Yeah.
You need to get out there and shoot, so you know you can hit that spot.
Right. With that broadhead.
With that broadhead.
Yeah.
My daughter is a 3D champion, Arizona State champion, but she practiced 2 to 3 hours a night every night.
Yeah.
When she shot that bear, the shot placement was a big thing. If you ever seen the pictures of where the bear was, you would have said there's no way she could have hit the bear in that tree with an arrow. But she shot it right in the heart. Before the bear hit the ground, it was dead. You know, she shot it with a grave digger, and phenomenal. You know. They do good, but I've seen other broadheads do the exact same thing because of shot placement. If you don't shoot them in the right spot, that broadhead ain't gonna work. Sure. You know, the deer, elk, bear, whatever is gonna go away, you know, or get away from you. So, I'm a firm believer in practice.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You know.
What would you say is some of the biggest hurdles that you've encountered, whether it's in hunting or archery? You know, be it like an injury, you ever encountered target panic, anything like that with any of your, because you do competitions as well, right?
Yeah, I do competitions.
So whether it's, you know, competitions with target panic, you know, an injury, I don't know if you've had we've never talked about that, shoulder injuries.
I've never had an injury yet, knock on wood.
Right.
Thank the Lord He's allowed me never to get hurt yet. But, you know, it's one of them things, if when you do get hurt or something, you've got to look at it as a reason.
Sure.
And, maybe it's to slow down from what you were doing. But boy, target panic's a big one. You know, sometimes you freeze. I mean, I'm not too ashamed to say it. I've been on some big deer and froze. I couldn't pull the trigger. You know, it's like, holy smokes, you know, and you just, nothing wants to work.
Do you think that's just the awe of the animal, really? Or do you think it's just...
Why, certainly.
Maybe too much of a surge of adrenaline or a brain overload?
Well, I'm sure. You know,
all of the above?
You know, I don't know. But, you know, like I say, you know, I look at it in maybe a different way than a lot of people. I look at it, the Lord didn't want me to shoot it. You know, it was... the Lord's telling me to wait, you know, whatever it was, you know. But, I mean, I've done a stock on enormous. The last time I ever had where I froze was, I had a 7x7 muley that I'd been stalking for 2.5 hours. And I got to a point where I didn't know where he was.
Okay.
And the next thing, 22 yards, he's standing in front of me, you know. I mean, bushes, but he's right there. Did I have a clear shot? I don't know, you know. But I wanted to take the shot, and it didn't happen.
Sure.
So, you know, I froze, you know. But it was one of them moments, you know. I look back, and maybe... like I say, the Lord was telling me no, not to shoot because I was going to wound him, you know, because there was brush in the way or whatever the reason was, you know. But maybe it was just the awe, like you say, of that enormous, beautiful animal standing in front of me. You know?
Absolutely.
And I've been that way with a bull elk. I was on a 390 plus bull elk once and it was in the wide open. I mean, one of them things, 31 yards, you know. Wow, you know.
Sure. It's a big animal to encounter, especially sometimes when you come across them and you're not, you know, fully ready, whether you've been watching them come in from a distance or not. If you just kind of see all of a sudden that they pop up there, I mean, it's an awe, and, you know, you're really in awe of this massive animal that is in front of you. You see him on videos and you see him on TV, and then you get within 20, 30 yards of one, and you're like, whoa. You know? Well, like, this thing's huge.
If you ever get to that point where that kind of stuff don't happen to you, I think it's time to get out, because I've never been, even the smallest spike, you know, I still get the hair on the back of my head, you know, everything happens, you know, and I think it's all part of the, you know.
It's part of what lets you know that you're alive. As, you know, cliche as that sounds, it's true. So you, primarily in your shop here, you carry PSE brand, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm a loyal PSE carrier. And that I can get other bows, do other stuff. I fix all kinds of bows, but I just PSE's been my main brand. When I first started this shop, I went to other dealers. I wrote out a plan, my kids program. I started my whole thing was because of the kids, you know, and at first I wanted to carry Matthews and Genesis bows because of the Genesis bows. And when I started my shop, I went to them people and they told me, well, my shop's not big enough, you know, blah, 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 whatever, you know. And my whole process was to try to carry everything. And a lot of the dealers laughed at me. I went to Pete Shepley and his son and laid out my plan, showed him what I was going to do, how I was going to do everything. And Pete and his son said, I'll do whatever it takes to help you out.
That's awesome.
You know, and because of that, I've stuck with PSE because through the thick and thins, the things that I've been doing, they've always been there for me.
Sure.
Plus my rep, Lonnie Workman's my rep, and he also has gone out of his way to help me, and I appreciate that, and I hope that never goes away. Well, I mean, I got all these other bow manufacturers now. Hey, we want you to sell our bows and stuff like that. And, I'm a small shop, and I can't afford to buy into their programs like they want, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're saying, oh, we'll work with you. But, you know, it is what it is.
Sure. And it's cool come full circle because you said your first bow was a PSE.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, to go from then until now and to be able to carry their brand, and that's the brand that you started with, I mean, I think there's something there as far as meaning too, you know, behind it all. So.
And I mean, I've worked on and I've had other bows. I've been a Ben Pearson dealer. I'm trying to think. I was a high country dealer for a while. But I kind of just dropped them. I've had some issues with some of them bows getting parts, and my thing is customer service. PSE's customer service that I've been dealing with is the same kind of customer service I try to deal with.
Right.
I help the customer as best as possible, and that's what PSE's been doing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody else might say something else about it, but anytime I've ever had a problem or something, I've been on the phone with Lonnie or PSE and, hey, this, boom, 3 days, the part's here. You know, I'll get the bow back together. And I've had other issues where PSE bow, they don't make that bow anymore, or something happened. They've said, hey, tell that customer to give me $250 or $300, we'll send him a brand new bow. I mean, you can get a brand new bow of a certain sort for $300. I mean,
that's unheard of almost.
Well, it is, because I've got a bow hanging on the wall right now that I've been working on that's got a cracked riser on it, and it says right on the riser, lifetime warranty from another manufacturer.
Yeah.
And I can't get them to warranty that bow, and I've taken pictures. Well, you says, you know, well, that bow's been mistreated. Well, I know who the bow belongs to, and I know the bow hasn't been mistreated. So you can't tell me that, you know.
Sure.
I have a problem with that, and I've never had a problem with a PSE product that yet.
Yeah.
Not saying that it hasn't happened. I personally haven't had no problems with them.
Yep.
So, and they're made right here in Arizona.
Tucson, right?
Tucson.
Yep.
So, and I'm a loyal person. I try to buy all my product that I can from my local area.
Yeah.
And I hope the same for other people too, that they would buy local. I mean, our problem is, and it's getting away from all this, is the internet and getting stuff on, you know, online, you know. It's going to start hurting that pro shop. I mean, yeah, a lot of people can do their own stuff, but a lot of manufacturers that I've seen, some people say, have they been bringing the bow to your shop to be worked on? You know, a lot of people are saying, well, if they've been working on it themselves and now they got a problem, we're not going to warranty it, you know.
Right.
So.
Right. Yep. So what all in here do you carry then besides just the PSE bows? I mean, you've got, it's behind the cameras here so you guys can't see it, but I mean, there's a wall here full of, you know, true fire releases. We've got sights, got broadheads, I see muzzies. You got your wind checker.
I've got a little bit of everything, and that's one thing I do in my shop. If I get a customer that's going to start buying from me locally all the time, you know, if they got something they want, I'll put it on the shelves and have it here for them. You know, if they want to order stuff, I got all my catalogs. They're always on the table. They're always open. You can look at them. The prices are in them. That's what I got to sell them for. I can't. I'm under a contract. This is what I have to sell them for, so I got to. And I'm a small shop, so, you know, I just do what I do with what I got. But I got, you know, Trophy Ridge. I love a lot of Trophy Ridge products. I sell a lot of that. You know, I got a little bit of everything, but not a lot of everything. One or two items, that's the way I start out. I sell one or two items, then I put something more on and get something else, and depending on what people want, you know. There's so much stuff out there. If I put everything in here that's out there and I didn't sell half of it, it'd be a waste of money. So I try to keep what my customers and people that want in stock and do it, you know. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, you know, this is my what I shoot, will you carry it? I'll buy it from you. I'll do it. You know.
Sure.
So and that's what I do. I mean, like I said before, I'm not the greatest bow tech. I can't promise you I know everything, but like I say, I'll try to get and do what I can for you.
What are your hours of operation here at the shop typically?
Well, typically 9 to 5, but
Okay.
My sister helps me run the shop during the day when she can. She's got kids. She homeschools and stuff.
Yep.
But I'm open to you call me, set up an appointment. Sometimes I'm out here till 11 o'clock at night. I used to be a firefighter and a police officer both, so I got a lot of buddies that are police officers and firefighters that can only come in at certain times or need something. So I do that. A lot of times during hunting season, I might be hunting, but I take a lot of my stuff with me. You can call me if you got a bow broke. I usually carry my press and my toy hauler.
Yep.
I can fix stuff, or I'll meet you back at the shop. I've had people, if I'm not hunting and I'm here, and last year I had a guy call me at 9 o'clock at night. He fell out of a tree. He was all right, but broke a string and different stuff happened. His sight broke. He was on his way down from Flagstaff. He calls, says, "Hey, I'm coming through. Is there by any chance I can get my bow worked on? I know none of the other shops in Phoenix are open.
Right.
I was wondering what you could do." I said, "Yeah, I'll be open." Like I said earlier, customer service is where it's at. If it's somehow I can help you, I'll do it. If I can't, I'm going to tell you I can't.
Yeah.
But that's what I feel is, right. Some people think I'm dumb for doing it, but
And just so everybody knows, so we can get it out there, what is your contact information? Do you prefer cell phone?
Cell phone. My cell phone number is 623-696-6310.
Okay.
That's what I run everything off of.
And you've got a Facebook page as well, right?
I got a Facebook page.
BCC Archery Pro
BCC
Shop?
Archery Pro Shop LLC.
Okay.
I think is how it is.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
And then you've got actually a couple of your premier PSE bows here today. You want to grab one of those and show us what you carry?
I carry all PSE right now. Some of my stuff's what I have in here right now. I got the new Carbon Air, the Stealth. I'm going to tell you that new Evolve series is the awesome series of bows if you have that kind of money and you want to spend. They've got some lower end priced Evolve series bows also. This Stealth Carbon Air, I've shot it a little bit. I'm going to try to sell this. I'm trying to get this one sold. But
is this like they're comparative to like the Hoyt RX, or what? I guess what would be the?
I don't know. I don't know how to compare PSE bows to any other bow. I mean, all manufacturers make a good bow. I'm not going to badmouth one manufacturer to another.
Right.
Everybody makes their own bow. They're good bows and they're bad bows. I mean, every manufacturer has a bad bow out there, and every manufacturer has a good bow. Who's got the best bow? I ain't going to tell you that.
Sure.
I mean, personally, I'm going to say PSE because I just like PSE. But I mean, there's other good bows out there. I'm going to be straight up front with you. There's a lot of good bows out there, a lot of good companies, But the Carbon Air, I like the Evolve series stuff. I personally still shoot the Decree HD TI. I haven't had the money to buy something new. I mean, that's like I said, my shop's small. I have to buy bows just like any other person. I don't get stuff give to me.
Right.
I sell quite a few bows, but I don't sell enough to get the better deals that the bigger shops get.
Sure.
Hopefully someday I'll get enough business in here to make that flow. I mean, I got a lot of customers that come here, but it takes a lot more than what I got to get a lot better.
Sure.
A lot bigger to get better pricings and be able to get stuff. And maybe I don't scream enough like a lot of other people do to get that free stuff and stuff. But it is what it is. But I got a couple of the newer bows in stock right now. like I said earlier, a lot of my stuff, I got a credit card on file with every manufacturer that I deal with, and they know they hit that credit card, they get their money. Normally in 3 days, I have the bows or whatever I need in here, you know. Especially if it's in stock. If it's not in stock, I can't get it until they get it, you know. So it's just one of them things. But I really like the Carbon Air, the Stealth. It's, to me, I think it's even better than the original Carbon Air that they came out with. It's an awesome bow. I really like it. I like all their bows. I like all the bows, you know. A lot of PSE stuff is, I mean, you got the Drive X, and man, for the money, I mean, package deal, I think it was $600 and something dollars. I was selling that Drive X for $550 last year, just the bow only. Then this year they come out with this package thing, you know. It's kind of like the Stinger. I mean, if for a lower entry beginner women's bow type thing, you know, the Stinger is another good bow, you know. $500 out the door with sights, drop away rest, micro adjusted sight, you know, stabilizer. I mean, that bow last year I was selling by itself for $500, just the bow only, you know, and this year you can get everything. So I mean, and there's other manufacturers that's got the same kind of deals too, you know. But I mean, I've been selling a lot of the Stingers, Drive X's, a few of the other, but I can't think of them all. But I mean, I've sold, them are the ones I've been selling the most of. The Expedite, I sold a couple, you know, quite a few of them. Them have been good bows. I mean, just depends on what your price range is, you know. You know, that's where it's at.
The Drive X has been a phenomenal, as getting back into it. 'Cause, I mean, I did archery for what, 4 or 5 years before, when, you know, before Ken had passed away, and then kind of went about my merry way for a while, then came back, you know, last year, and to get back into it again, but to still have, you know, some of the I guess the muscle memory per se, you know, for getting back into it, that bow has been phenomenal. I mean, and plus, you know, you're able to shoot. That one's 70 pounds, right? Yeah,
that's
70 pounds, you know, 320 or 330 feet per second. That bow's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love that thing so much. Of course, one day I'll be there.
Yeah. No, that's, you know, that's me. I mean, that's like everybody says, I can't believe you don't own your own Carbon Air, you know? And like I say, you know, I just don't have that kind of money for myself.
And it's not always necessary though either. Like, you know, that's a want, definitely, but the Drive X does everything I needed to, you know?
No, it is.
You know, so.
And that's just it, you know, and that's like I always tell people call me and say, I'm wanting a new bow. People always ask me, well, why do you ask what your price range is? Because give me a price range and I'm going to tell you the best bow that's going to fit you. And that's like knowing somebody or having you come into the shop and looking at you and you say, my price range is this. Okay, well, there's several bows out there, but I think this bow is going to fit you better. That's like the Drive X. I think I told you 3 different bows, but I think the Drive X is going to fit you better for what you're trying to do, knowing that you've already also shot in the past and kind of knew what this. That's where I set you up in, you know. And I don't think I steered you in the wrong direction.
No, definitely not.
And I hope I didn't. And that's like I say, I'm always, sometimes I'm too honest, too up for, you know, I get personal with my customers and stuff. Even customers I don't know, I want to get to be in a personal relationship. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but be in that with you and help you along your journey, you know, knowing what you're going to do and how you're going to go about it and helping you out. I mean, I treat my customers like they're my own family. And because that's the way the Lord wants me to do it. And that's where I go with it. Whether it's right or wrong, I hope not.
That translates as well too, though, in your coaching. And let's kind of transition to the shooting that you guys do. So what are the months that you shoot out on the range, and that you host 3D shoots. We had that one that Mitch and I came to that day, and we'll hang out for the greater portion of a day, from morning until probably noonish or a little bit later, and you'll barbecue, you'll have some drinks and food and stuff.
We do that. We we try to just have fun. Our club stuff that we do, if you shoot for my shop or you're starting to do competition and things like that, those people I make shoot year round.
Yeah.
All of our stuff is done outdoors. Our range is outside. Everything's outside. So through all of that, I ask those people that are shooting for my shop or for our club to spend an X amount of time every day shooting.
Right.
Our normal thing is once it starts cooling off, like right after archery elk usually.
Yeah.
Normally I go and help people during elk season. I mean, I'm not a guide or nothing, but through our church program, through my archery program, I take people and we go and I show them where to hunt and try to help them, guide them in that direction of how to do what needs to be done. And so I do that for the fun of what I love to do for hunting. But right after archery elk, usually we start back up, and then we go until May, the first weekend in May.
Okay.
Once it starts getting hot, everybody, I don't want to shoot no more, it's too hot. But my range is open. We have a range. My range is open year-round. If you want to shoot, you're more than welcome to come shoot. If you want lessons or you want help shooting your bow, something's not right, you want to know, in the evenings, I'm here. I got a range. I got 50 yards here at the shop outside, and then if we drive 5 minutes across town to my 5 acres where our range is at, we got lots of range, lots of room to shoot, you know.
And you do that with each customer almost too. I mean, when I came and got my bow, you took me outside, had me, get it sighted in a little bit, made sure my loop was right on and everything.
Well, that's one thing that's one thing I do when you come here and you have your bow serviced or you buy a bow from me. I will spend whatever time it has to be with you, making sure everything's set up, making sure you're happy. I don't want you to leave here unhappy or I didn't spend no time with you or whatever. I mean, I've known people say, I went and bought a bow, they handed it to me, said it was good, and out the door I went and didn't get no instructions. And that's not what I'm about. I spend, like I said, I want to spend personal time with you, one-on-one, and with every customer. That's like if I get a customer in here and I got another customer, I'll tell them I'll be right with you, try to talk to them while I'm talking with that other customer. But if I get too many people in here, I've got people I can call that just live around the corner. Hey, I got some customers, I need some help. They come in here and help me, or if I know I'm gonna have a busy day per se in my shop, I'll call some of my shooters for me and say, you need to be here, I'm gonna have a busy day, I need you to help me guide these people in whatever direction that you can while I'm dealing with these other people, And that's like I always say, if somebody calls me and sets up a time, if you're gonna be here at 8 o'clock or 7:30, be here because I wanna get you taken care of so I can help you with the next person. Not that I'm gonna push you out the door, but I'm gonna, I try to usually, if you come and say, hey, I'm gonna need 20 or 30 minutes, I'm gonna think, well, I need an hour and a half with you. So after that hour and a half, somebody else is gonna call or say something. I'm gonna try to set them in that position. But if I'm still working with you, I'm not gonna stop working with you. I'm gonna tell them, just give me a few minutes, or I'll have somebody else that's here step in and take over with you while I help this other person out,
And you're kind of used to that anyways from the archery club. I mean, you've got a whole kid section, there's probably 20 kids on any given day. And then you've got anywhere from, a dozen adults that are actively shooting, and then, another dozen adults that are just hanging out. And so you're kind of used to that multitasking, and you'll kind of, that's what's great too, is you will kind of walk along, and you'll spend 2 or 3 minutes with each person. You'll visit with people for a little while, but during those 2 or 3 minutes, you're giving coaching advice. I've seen you step back and you watch every person's form, and I've seen you kind of kick some toes once in a while to make sure their foot stance is right and everything. And that's great to have that hands-on coaching, because there's not a lot of, I think, quality time spent with customers and just in the mentorship as well. That's super important. And
that's why I keep good people around me when I'm doing this too. It's like when I do my coaching on Sundays, the first and third Sundays of every month, when we do it at 2:00, I have people like Cheryl. They used to be Cheryl Sloan, now it's Cheryl Milliner.
Yep.
She's my phenomenal coach. She loves working with the little kids, and I kind of let her do that and step away.
With the kids too.
But I also help her, and then I try to deal with everybody else.
Yeah.
But I have other coaches that also they're there, and that's like I tell people, I'm not a pushy coach. A lot of people I'm going to come up to. I'm a hands-on person. If you're not sitting in the right position, I'm going to move you in that position. I'm going to put my hands on you.
Right.
I mean, if you don't want me to touch you, say something to me.
Sure.
But I'm going to put you in that position because I know where you need to be.
Sure.
Feel this position. That's how you need to be every time.
Right.
Then I'll step back. And that's just how I do things. I mean, some people don't like to be touched, and that's fine. And I'm going to, try to explain it to the best as possible. But if you don't mind me setting you in that position, and that's like a lot of the kids and the women and stuff, and men too. I'll get behind you. I'll help you get that bow pulled back, and everybody thinks it's awkward and it's dumb the way I do it, but I know that position. So get in, feel this position with me. This is where you need to be. Okay, I'm going to step back.
Yep.
Now you need to duplicate that.
Yep.
And people, when I do that after a few times, some people think, wow, that really did help me. Even people that have shot for a while and have had problems, I step in there and step behind them and do that. And wow, I mean, I understand what you're trying to say now, and that's just the way I am, and I guess it's been successful so far.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, great. So I think we've covered about everything today. If somebody wants to come pick up one of the carbons, what do they run at?
The Carbon Air is $1,500 plus tax.
Yep.
Only good thing about our tax here in Black Canyon City is it's 6.35, and compared to 11% in Phoenix or 12%, you can walk in the door and get a 10% discount right off the bat.
Significantly lower, right?
So we have. Our taxes is a little bit cheaper here.
Yeah.
That's what I've been using for a sales pitch. I had a guy come in and buy a Carbon Air from me at the beginning of the year, and he told me I didn't charge him enough, and I said, I did, sir.
Yep.
And he kept telling me no, and then I said, well, my tax is 6.35. I saved him several $100s just in tax. You know? And that automatically earned me a new customer because he's the one that says, I got 10% off just walking in the door.
Sure. I mean, that's
a good sales pitch.
That's like a military discount somewhere, right?
So,
and you've got bows with full packages. I'm grabbing mine here. This Carbon Air, I mean, all my bows, I put all PSE sights and rest and stuff on them. Right.
So you can come in and shoot them a little bit. But the bow only is $1,500. I think it's $14.99 or something like that.
Yep.
But $1,500. But I put sights and stuff on them. If you want the stuff that's on them, it's an additional whatever that price is. You know.
So you've got just standalone bows that don't have anything on it, just the bare bow.
Bare bows.
You've got full packages like this. This was my one that you set me up with. We're actually going to add an extra sight today. Hopefully, we'll see. And or an extra pin on my sight today. And this was, do you remember what this was? Was it 600?
600, I think. Maybe a little bit more.
Stabilizer,
with everything.
Quiver, sight. You got the drop away rest, not the whisker biscuit, the drop away. And I mean, this is one of their newest bows.
And they've come out with new strings. They're making their own strings called Livewire. I'm gonna tell you, them strings are awesome strings that
they really are.
I deal with them, and then America's Best bowstrings. I sell all my strings that I put on bows unless somebody specifies. I use America's Best bowstrings on all my stuff also.
Okay. And you're able to fletch arrows.
Fletch arrows.
Who do you use for?
I use all AAE fletching. If you're a hunter and you're just beginning and you don't know much about AAE's got some called the Maxi Hunters, which are good broadhead, fletchings that stirs your broadheads. They also work good in the wind. I started shooting competition, and Nick one day said, "Hey, you ought to try these the next time you shoot," and I shot them in the wind because I was having problems with what I was using before, and I noticed a big difference. And then I started using more of their products, and before long, because they're here in Arizona, out of Prescott, it's another reason I use them. But they have AAE has good product as far as I'm concerned, and I know they make stuff for other people. I know their manufacturers, some of your best people that make arrows and the nocks and different things that are made, they may say they're made by them, but I know AAE makes a lot of that product for them, too. So.
Yep. Well, cool. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I know it's Saturday here. You probably got other stuff to get going, working on. But we'll try and get this site added on, see if it works.
Yep.
And if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out to Richie. He can take care of everything for you. Go ahead and give us your cell phone again.
My cell phone number is 623-696-6310.
Okay.
And you can email me too at BCC Archery Pro Shop LLC at yahoo.com.
Yahoo. And then BCC Archery Pro Shop LLC on Facebook. You can follow along there. You'll often post shoots. What's the next upcoming shoot? Clint Wells got canceled yesterday.
Clint Wells got canceled yesterday due to the fire danger. As of right now, they've got, because of the fire danger, they've been shutting a lot of different force down. Come Wednesday, I think they're going to shut more of the force down. They're having a meeting on Monday, the Forest Service, so I don't know what's going to happen, but it's pretty sad, but we just don't need to start no fires either. I mean, some of the forest is open. People are wanting to go camping, but I think I'm going to stay home and keep from having that happen.
Sure. Okay. Well, follow along, whether it's BowhuntingAZ or BCC Archery Pro Shop. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. Of course, there will be a YouTube channel for the podcast here. We'll be coming to iTunes soon. And so we'll be doing more stuff here with BCC Archery Pro Shop as well. Probably be doing some behind the scenes video later today. Maybe I'll do a live stream here of Richie doing stuff to my bow. I'm going to add an 80-yard pin. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to him. You said shooting starts in October?
In October, probably.
October to May, and there's a small fee. It's like, what, $40?
$40 for the full year to help pay for our insurance. We have to have a $3 million liability. And
you are a nonprofit, too.
We're a nonprofit organization as of the club. So, and that's one thing, we run off of donations. That's how our club is. Everybody says $45, that's cheap. That's just for the insurance. I ask for donations on top of that to cover the targets and stuff like that. And the reason I ask for donations instead of ask for a big price is, if you donate, because we're a nonprofit organization, I can give you a 501c3 number. You can claim it on your taxes if that helps you out. So it's a win-win situation for me. It's a win-win situation for you, because you can claim it on your taxes, and I still get money to help run our club.
Absolutely.
I look at it this way: if I don't get donations, we don't have targets to shoot, then we can't shoot. So
right on. Perfect.
That's how we run it.
So come on out, shoot starting in October, and bring your kids. There's plenty of targets for the kids, and they got their own little range there kind of on the side, right?
Yep.
Got Cheryl instructing them. Richie's walking up and down, shooting with us, the adults, and you do 3D shoots every once in a while. You'll kind of
3D
announce
shoots
those.
off and on, yeah. We try to shoot 3Ds the third Sunday of every month.
Okay.
Just depending on what's going on and
Weather
stuff.
and
But
whatnot.
weather and different things. I don't try to, if it's raining or something, I don't try to get out there in the rain. I mean, I don't mind it, but
Sure.
I don't want the kids getting sick or something, or a parent getting mad because their kid got sick because I made them shoot. I didn't make them shoot, but,
Yep.
you know, so
Yep.
it just depends on what's going on.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. We appreciate you spending time listening to us. Hopefully you heard some great information today and got some insight as to one of the local shops here in Arizona. Thank you for those that joined us on live stream. We appreciate you watching. And let us know what you'd like to hear next. If you guys want to come and visit, 9 to 5, or give Richie a call, text, email. He's got plenty of gear here available as far as bows, anything that you need for archery, course lessons, stuff like that. He can help you with. If you guys decide that you want to get any merchandise, he's got his BCC Archery Pro Shop shirts. Let's grab one of these. Here, what do these run, Richie?
$20 is what I sell them for.
Perfect. Get you one of these, and I got a hat. This is actually my hunting hat, so thank you. Make sure you guys get one of these. Come pick one up whenever you come give them a visit, and show your support for somebody that's local. You know, it helps him out. Same as well for BowhuntingAZ. We just got these in. We actually have two different logos. There's the state border logo, and then there's the state flag logo. And got all different sizes for guys and girls, as well as window decals, stuff like that. So come show your support for some local folks, and hope to hear from you guys. Let us know what you'd like to see. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Thank you for listening to the BowhuntingAZ podcast. Make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, BowhuntingAZ. If you'd like to send us an email, you can reach us at bowhuntingaz88@gmail.com.